Thursday the 17th, just about 7:20 a.m. Got all my stuff all packed up, just got back from breakfast. I'm ready to hit the trails once again. There's a 7:30 shuttle that will take me up to the 19 Mile Brook Trailhead, where I will pick up the detour route from there. I've already done Wildcat Ridge in the past, so I am okay with skipping that section for today in the idea of saving myself a double steep climb and the extra miles. Carter Dome's climb will be enough for me today. So I'm gonna take that. 19 Mile Brook's also a new trail for me, so works out in that way. Yeah, yesterday was, well, the night was great. Got in a little late. Ended up getting here about 5:30ish. Checked in, jumped right in the shower, went to dinner, got a nice big buffet dinner, went to the resupply shop and got some more Nerds Gummies clusters so I don't have to ration those anymore, which is great. I'm gonna house a bunch of those. I got a couple sodas, so I got a Dr. Pepper in my bag for later. Gonna be great. And yeah, had a great night's sleep. I got just a big, huge buffet breakfast just now, so I am full, loaded up on calories and carbs and protein and all the good stuff. So now 10 minutes I'm catching that shuttle and we'll be back at it. All right, heading up 19 Mile Brook. The temporary plastic blazes are up. We are on the AT. Let's get up to the hut. We'll refuel there, sherpa up on water, and get up the big push of the day up Carter Dome. 16.5 miles, I believe, is what I plotted out. So a little less mileage and much less rough terrain, except for the one steep climb. So should be a pretty nice day, especially after the big refueling I just got. Only one more night left. Can't believe it's already come this far. Trail intersection, about 1.85 miles up, about the same 1.9 to the hut. So we are halfway there, to the hut at least. It's not a sign. ATV tour. On we go. Get to Carter Notch. We've made it to Carter Notch. So this is where the traditional AT route comes down from Wildcat Ridge here. It's actually up in the clouds right now, so we'll probably be in the same towards Carter Dome that way. But we're gonna slide on over to the hut here. It's just under a quarter mile off the side. Refresh, refuel, and get ready for the big push up Carter Dome. Doesn't look like views are going to be on the docket today, that's for sure. Good thing is the Carters aren't really known for their views anyways, so I will gladly trade the few views I would get for the cooler weather. I can feel it blowing in. There's a cool breeze coming in. As soon as the rainstorms come, it is going to permanently cool stuff down, drop that humidity. Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. The Carters and Mt Moriah Trail, 1.2 miles up to Carter Dome. It's going to be the steepest and toughest part of the day for sure. I'm just going to push our way through it. We made it this far, 3.6 miles in about an hour and a half. Going at a pretty moderate but comfortable pace. It's too bad there's the clouds are getting thicker and thicker. Usually from down here in the notch. It's a really impressive look up to Wildcat A Peak that you typically would have come down on the AT and then up to Carter Dome this way too. Again, usually there's a pretty sick view from here, but not today. But again, there's a cool breeze and I will take that trade. Let's keep going. And there you have it. The old fire tower foundation, one of them. Another corner piece over there, but the glorious summit field of Carter Dome. Rainbow Trail goes down to the Wild River Wilderness down that way. And our trail continues northbound this way. 6 more miles to the Imp campsite. And then I believe we've got about 5 or so miles after that, 5 or 6 to get down. I just talked to a southbounder on the summit of Carter and Dome, and he said that there isn't really any water between here and the Imp shelter, which is in about, I believe, 6 miles or so. So we'll make sure we conserve what we got through there. I did fill up my extra bottle at the hut because I suspected that would be the case. So we're ready to rock. We're coming down Carter Dome. Should be about 1.25 miles to South Carter, which is our next 4,000 footer. We have reached Zeta Pass. So this is where the Carter Dome Trail comes up right there. That's what intersects with 19 Mile Brook. It bared off to the left about halfway up to the hut. So this is where that comes up. We have just under 5 miles to the Imp shelter. So by the time we get there, we'll be over all 3 Carters. Should be about 3/4 mile to South Carter from this spot. Six and a half miles in, the glorious viewless summit of South Carter. The sun's starting to try to fight its way out. There's little breaks of blue sky here and there, and you can see over, if we get on the high point here, there's Middle Carter sticking out over there. That's our next stop in about 1.25 miles. Some mountains are trying to poke out of the clouds just a little bit. That's Mount Madison right there, just barely sticking out. South Carter right there where we just came from. And then Middle Carter, our next destination, is right up there, almost there. Nice to actually see something along the way, but you can tell the rain's coming. You ready for this one? Don't blink or you'll miss it. Oh, and there we are. The fantastical summit of Middle Carter. But nice thing about it, since the clouds are starting to clear up, there's a little bit of an outlook to the east here. Ooh, look at that, not too bad at all. This Mount Height and Carter Dome are hiding back that way. Looking out towards Maine. There's Mount Moriah right over there. That little knob is Mount Moriah. So we'll head up that. That's our next last 4,000 footer. Currently we are making our way down the Imp campsite spur. It is a most regrettable 0.3 mile downhill from the regular trail. It's a long way to go for a spur trail, but hey, this one I definitely want to trace this one out. And I was going to stop here for water and a snack anyway, so it'll be nice to unload for a minute, get under cover since it's starting to sprinkle, and get ready for the final push. All right, I'm here at the Imp shelter. It is a very nice shelter. Big 2-tiered interior. Looks very new, very fresh, very clean. Sizable spot for tents, it looks like, over to the side there too, so nice spot. Wish I had the time to stay the night here. But for now, at least I'm sitting under the roof. It's been sprinkling on and off, so I'm just gonna grab my water bottles, run down to the water source, and filter up some water, load up for the push over Moriah, and then we'll head downhill. And all filled up on water. Nice little water source right here. Filled those bad boys up. Got the same amount that got me the 7 miles up Carter Dome and over the Carters, so only 6.5 miles to go, and I just got to do like 1.5 miles up Moriah and then all down from there. So the whole way down, I think, is pretty much following a stream as well, a Rattle River of all things. So since it's the Rattle River Trail, makes sense. So it should be plentiful water the rest of the way, but got plenty to go around. Junction to the Rattle River Trail, 2.6 miles down to the shelter. And I'll be only 1.9 from the road from there too. So let's get down 2.5 miles. Should hopefully take me only an hour or so. We can get in the shelter, and I've heard some distant thunder, so the sooner we can get under cover, the better. Let's move. Coming up on the last 1/2 mile to the Rattle River Shelter. It was pretty steep coming down at first, but the trail's got nice and flat, so we've been cruising for a little bit now, and the sun's ripping through the trees right now. There's a threat of thunderstorms, like I said, around 6 o'clock, but it's coming up on 5 right now, and it doesn't seem like it. There was some distant thunder a little bit ago off to my right, which would be kind of southeast of here. We'll see if I have cell service to be able to check if maybe those storms just kind of missed us the way, or if there's still something to come, but we will see. We'll be at the shelter in a half mile. Should be less than a half hour. And we'll hunker down and get settled in. Good evening from the Rattle River Shelter. Just put my stuff at the shelter up there, strung up a clothesline to hang up all my soaking wet clothes, and ran down here to the river because, well, it is the perfect spot to take a dip, and I have been waiting for the right timing to do this all week. I've seen so many little pools and swimming holes along the way, but it was like in the middle of the day, or I was on a time crunch because I had to do so many miles, and now the storms aren't here yet. The skies are blue. It's 5:30. Camp's right there. I'm about to make dinner, so I'm going to jump in the water. And even also, I brought this bad boy from the lodge, so we'll just let that chill in this little pool. I'll have a nice cold soda with my dinner too. And now that it's my next to last day, I can have my last free-dried meal, which is chicken buffalo mac and cheese. That's going to be delicious. I have one more ramen packet, so I can have a ramen appetizer. I have only a handful of snacks left, so I don't have to ration those anymore. It's just a good feeling. We're in the home stretch now, and it's starting to get a little more real, you know? I felt like I just started yesterday, and it felt like it was forever ago at the same time. And tomorrow I'm just going to be like, I'm going to get in the car after I'm done, and like, wow, I did it. Hard to believe, but enough blabbering. This water looks too inviting. I got to jump in there. I'll be right back. Alright, it is 8:15. I am in the shelter, in my tent in the shelter. There are only 2 other people here. They're both tenting outside. There was a threat of thunderstorms that never came to fruition. I've heard some distant thunder a couple times, but nothing yet. But just to be safe, I just figured I'd crash in the shelter anyways. Neither of the other people were looking to anyway, so I got the whole thing to myself, and I figured I'd just pitch my tent without the fly, so I'd have a little bug screen. So I'm in here, safe from the bugs, sun's starting to go down, so calling a night. I'm gonna try to get a super early start tomorrow. I got 18 miles to the border and then another 4 backwards down the Success Trail to get back out to my ride. So 22 miles and change. It's gonna be a long day, but the sooner I get done, the sooner I get to go home. And I'm ready to go home. So I'm gonna call it a night. Try to get up around 3 or 4 and hit the trail as early as I possibly can and put those miles down. So we'll see you for the final day. Oh, what do you know? I just recorded that video signing off and it started raining. So I'm glad I'm in here. Be able to pack up real quick in the morning and get rolling real quick. Hopefully everything will be dry. Phew.